Good day, ladies and gentlemen. What we are going to have a look at today is some extra things that you can do with Google Meet. So by now everybody is pretty much familiar how you can invite the whole of your class to join the video meeting, how you can mute people, how you can present things using Google Slides, Microsoft PowerPoint, or any part of your screen, but it still is quite difficult to show anything besides your face. You can, of course, move your computer around, but that is not the best case scenario. One way around it is very simple. What you can just use is your phone. Install Google Meet on your phone, join in the conversation as another you, and what you will get is a remote camera that you can use in order to show people anything you want. So here you can see that you have myself and you have another myself, which is actually my phone. Once I switch the video to the phone, I can use it in order to show remote objects. I can show results of chemical experiment, for example, or how I do things. So you can just use it as a camera for whatever situation you might need, right, without moving your computer, without stopping to present things. So it's just a very simple remote camera for you to use. Now there is only one limitation though. It is not really possible to show text using it. If you try to show some text, you will first of all have to position your camera directly above it. Secondly, you will see that your text is actually getting quite distorted when you do that. Why is that? That mostly happens because when you try to send the video feed using Google Meet, it will try to compress it as much as possible. So your text is going to be compressed so much that it will be full of artifacts, making it pretty much impossible to show it to anybody. So if you are planning to show text, you would better share part of your screen instead of trying to film it with a camera. But there still might be cases when that could be a very interesting thing to have an extra camera with you handy, so just use your mobile phone. Second thing we're going to talk about is interactivity in the classroom. Once you have had several lessons online, you might have noticed that it really doesn't work in exactly the same way as it works in the classroom. Even if you ask everybody to mute their microphones, you do want some kind of a feedback from your audience from time to time. For example, you explain a difficult problem and you would like your audience to at least be able to raise their hands to see if they have understood it or not. So the possibility to very quickly ask a question to your class and get some immediate feedback is not really something that you can do very easily when your class is online. But there is at least one very small add-on to Google Chrome that you can use in order to enforce that. I'm going to go and I'm going to search for Google Meet add-on, which is called Nod, N-O-D. Now, this is the one which is called Reactions for Google Meet. Once you go and add it to Google Chrome, it's going to take a second to add this extension, and what you will get is an icon in the top right corner of your Google Chrome window, which is called Reactions for Google Meet. Right, that's all we need right now, so let's go ahead and test it. I'm going to go open a new Meet session, starting a meeting without an interesting name, because nobody's going to participate in it, just me. Right, here I am, and we are going to join that meeting without inviting anybody else. Great. Now, the first difference that you see is that you have those icons on top. Right? You have the preferences, you can turn on or off all the notifications, right? You can give them a different color. But the most interesting thing is that once your students uh, install those notifications, they can use them in order to provide some feedback to you even when they are muted, which means that you can, you can, for example, ask them to raise their hands if they have understood something. You can ask them to give you feedback interactively. And it's very easy because everybody understands how emotions work. It's very simple because it doesn't require them to unmute the microphone, it doesn't require them to type anything. It's just a simple icon to give you some immediate feedback. So the extension is once again called Reactions for Google Meet. If you after 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 you have tried it out and you think that you don't need it, you can as well remove it from Google Chrome, or you can just click there and you can remove it by right clicking on Google Chrome, or hide it in the Chrome menu if you don't want it. So, Reactions for Google Meet is simple, it's pretty interesting, and it's something that you can test with your class to get you a slightly more interactive feedback without your students having to say anything or unmute the microphone. Now, the very last thing that I'll show you today is another pretty handy extension which allows you to view the whole of your audience at once. Usually you only see one person in your video feed. Everybody else is reduced to a small icon, which might be a problem if you would like to see all of your class at once, for example. Once again, we are going to go in and we are going to search for an extension which is called Google Meet Grid Extension. Right, it's called Google Meet Grid View, and once again it is available from the Chrome Web Store as an add-on that you can download and run. I'm going to add this to Chrome, answer the security question that yes, I'm sure I would like to add it, and once again it will appear in your upper right corner as an icon showing you that the extension has been installed and it is active. How does it work? We'll start a new Meet session. We are going to start a meeting without an interesting name. We will join ourselves and we are going to invite Jesse to join this conversation, send an invite. So you might have noticed that you have got a new icon on your top right corner, which is the grid layout. By default, this grid layout is turned off, which means that right now I can only see the ceiling above Jesse. If I turn on this extension, I'm going to switch to a grid view, which has both my video and it has the video from all the participants in the discussion. You can exclude yourself from this grid by unchecking this include myself in the grid, right? But once you enable this extension, once you have a conversation when everybody has this grid view, everybody will be able to see everybody's video feed nicely arranged in a grid. So it's a very simple extension, but it actually does allow you to wait, I can show you a picture. Okay, it will allow you to have as many participants nicely divided into a grid directly in your screen. That's it for today. So, 3 things. First of all, use your camera on your mobile phone as an extra participant in Google Meet in order to get a mobile camera that you can use as you want. Right? The second one is the Node Reaction add-on to Google Chrome that you can install if you would like interactive feedback from your audience. And the third one is the Google Meet Grid View that you can install if you would like to have the whole of your class showing up interactively. Thank you for today. Bye.